Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. And today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little slim gift package with a belly band at the top there that just slides off, and then you can do whatever little gift you want to put inside. As I say, it has to be kind of flat, so a little bag of party rings fits the bill nicely, but you could put little bits of jewellery, all sorts of things in there, and then that just, hopefully, if you can get your fingers to work, slips back on there and will hold that closed like so. Okay, so the paper that I have used comes from the paper Medley 12 by 12 Mix in Designer series paper, and this is quite an unusual set of designer series paper, but something I think that Stampin' Up are keen to do a little bit more of, in that it has completely different patterns that can mix and match with almost anything else. So you've got black and white stripes that would match with that. The page that I have used there, you could possibly use for a sea theme. The possibilities are endless on that. So with most packs of paper, you've got a theme running through it. With this one, it is very much mix and match, as it is with the, if I can find it, Everyday Essentials mix and match. So you've got these packs that are pretty much random, but will work well together. Different sides, that and that would work, that and that would work, you know, but gives you a good mix of colours and different designs. So if you're not into the flowers or the bikes and the boats and seagulls and fish and whatnot, then it's a good option for you there. The other thing I've used, and it's not very clear, but you can see when I bring it up close, I've got all of these dotted lines on there. I have used this mask. Now it's 12 by 12 and it comes in a pack with this other one. They are called Water and Dotted Lines decorative masks, and I used these on stage, and I've been quite keen to use them again. So I'm going to make another one of these. And we're starting off with a piece of the designer series paper. Now, you may notice that this one is a lot darker than that one. So I used Pretty Peacock on that one. On this one, I'm actually going to use Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to do my inking up first. I know I actually am going to chop a little bit off at that end, and it also will have a little tab to join it, so I don't particularly need that end to be done. And I'm using, as I say, Lost Lagoon ink and a blending brush. Now this blending brush was cleaned, although there was still some residual ink colour to the bristles. So I'm just, there's a couple of little fluffy bits there, probably dust. I'm inking that up pretty well. And I may or may not add a lot of ink to this. I might just add little bits. There we go, that's more ink, that's better. Just takes a little while for your brush to load up. I don't think I'll go all the way to the top. Add a bit on there. I'm sorry, the camera does shake a bit when I get a bit heavy-handed. And I'm putting my finger on there so that I am getting a lot of pressure on the brush, because I want to have quite a distinct pattern on that, if you know what I mean. I don't want it to be too subtle. I'm going to just check. Oh, that does look nice, doesn't it? Yeah, like it. My mind's eye was on form. And I might do a little bit more up the top here. I think I might need to re-ink my Lost Lagoon ink pad. Right, I think that might do a little bit more up here, I think, maybe. Let's go for the reveal. I won't take it off entirely in case I think there's a bit of mist. No, I like it. I like it, so I can take it right off. And I will just rinse that to take that residual ink off. How cool's that? Right. And I've got ink on my fingers, obviously. Right, I need to bring in my trimmer. And I want to cut this down. I basically want to take 1/2 inch off. So this was 6 inches by 12 inches. It is now 6 inches by 11.5. Take my cutting blade out of the way, and I'll just do the short line first. So I want to score that at 1/2 inch, like so. Then on the long side, I want to score that at 5 inches. Let me just double check. Yep, 5 inches, 5.5, 10.5, and 11. Is that right? 5.5. Just gonna, before I oh well, I've just cut that. No, I haven't. Yeah, I did. There. Oh dear, it's a very warm day here today. And I'm not at my best. So, that is not ideal. But what we will do, because I thought I'd gone wrong. I'd scored in the wrong place. I tried to give it another score. It was too heavy-handed. A little bit of sellotape on the back will hopefully do the trick. And what I might do is just add a little bit of that blended ink on there, so any white bits not so visible. There we go. Again, as I've said many times in my videos, I make the mistakes so that you don't have to. And this is what also happens when you make your prototype days before you actually get round to doing a video. forgotten what you'd done and you hadn't even written down the instructions. Is that half inch? I've gone a little bit light on the score line there. It should be a half, it's 3/8. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Won't be quite as neat as it should be. But all I'm doing is chopping up the score lines there. And this bit's still too wide. So I'm not quite sure what I've done. All may be revealed in a moment. Let me see if this actually works. Yeah, it does. It's fine. Apologies for the mucky piece of grid sheet there, and nearly forgot to take the little chop off those bits there. So that's how we look at that bottom narrow line there. We've just chopped those little squares into flower pots and taken a bit off there and there. Actually just going to take a bit off there because it's going to be too wide. And this bit doesn't have to be overly straight. Right, I'm going to add glue to this piece here. As I say, the weather here is unseasonably warm for me, and to film I have to have the window closed and the door closed so you don't hear too much other noise. It's like a sweat box in here. So, and then folding that piece over. Now ordinarily that would be going the whole way, but I cut it, I scored it a little bit short. A little dab of glue on those tabs just to hold them in like that, and then some glue on here. It's a super simple little project. It's that mask and inking that makes it a little bit more wow. Okay, so that doesn't quite go all the way, but it's fine. Pinch that, put a little treat in, which the party rings are actually under the sea, so it kind of goes pretty well with that. And then I need a piece of Lost Lagoon card. This is an A4 sheet, and I'm just going to trim off 1 inch. So I've got the long way. So it's 1 inch by 11 3/4 ish. And I'm going to decide which is my front and which is my back. I think I prefer that to be my front, even though, no, we'll go with that one. Right, and then I'm starting this, and to make sure I've got it straight, you can line it right up at the edge there, and then just give that a fold over, and again line it up at the edge like so. You can slide it down later, but this way makes it easier to make sure you've got it straight. I'm going to take that off and give that a quick burnish to make it a nice crisp edge. Again, I'm going to try and make sure I've got that bit straight first, like that. Then we will put that back on, like so. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that end and a little bit of glue there. And then that means both ends of this will be secured. If I can get that glue to come out. There we are. A little bit of glue on there. Pop that down. that. And we are nice and neat there. Slide that, compress that in, and then slide that down a little bit further. Now the tag that I used on this comes from a set that are already done for us. So this is Classic Labels Mix and Match Ephemera pack, and some of them are labels where you can bunch that, just take that little bit out there and you could put a ribbon and just use it as a normal tag. And then we've got some other ones here that are actually stickers. So you've got a good mix of those different shapes, 2 sheets of each. These ones are stickers as well. But again, you don't actually have to use it as a sticker. You could leave the backing on and stick and, you know, put it on a belly band like that. You don't need to take the backing off. So I used, in fact, let's just do that with one of these. Let's choose this one. Let's just check that that fits in there, because I might need a different stamp otherwise. It does, of course it does. Right, let me just ink that up. Love and hugs. Beautiful. Close my ink pad. There we go. Right, so that I want to put on there. Now the decorations, I just happen to already have some of these lying around. So this is the, what's it called? What's it called? Things about the place. It is called Greenery Lane. So you can either stamp and die cut, or you can use the washi tape, and some of it I've added to white card and some of it was added to vellum. I think I might have used all the vellum pieces, possibly. Oh, no, there's a little vellum one there, so you can tell the difference. And then you use the dies to cut them out from that. It just gives you that lovely soft look. So I'm going to use more of these because I've got them, and I'm not particularly bothered about what colour they are, or whether they're vellum or... Let's stick with these. So I've got 2 that are on white card on that side, and then I've got one, oh no, that's white card as well, it's just a different colour. Let's do that on there like that. That'll do. Pop these back in there to use some other time. Oh, do I want that one? Oh, no. Just go with what you had, woman. The video is going to be long enough as it is. Right. Put that out there. Okay, so get me glue. And I know I want to have that on there like that. So I can put glue just on that piece there. And we can have that coming down. Just double check my... Yep, that's quite nice because that might actually just go on top of that. Nice. And then these ones, I can put there, and a little bit on there, have that coming like that, and then I will actually put some dimensionals on the back of that one, which I don't think I did with the other. But what I can do is pop the dimensionals on here take the backends off. And if I'm concerned about placement, I can do that. And then it gives me a little bit more wiggle room. So down a little bit more, and then that where I want it. Lovely. And then for that one, I had put a bow to cover up the hole that was at the top. I don't think I'm going to do that. And because I'd used gold on that, I used these gold gems. Excuse me one moment while I get to my gems and try and find something. Should have brought this round here earlier. And these ones are Pretty Peacock and Pool Party. That's a possibility. Or we could just go shimmery. Yeah. Or those white pearly ones. I'm just going to go pearls, iridescent pearls. Make it totally different from the other one. And I have a new pack of these, which is always fun. Take your pick tool. Get my one big one, one little one, and I'll go for another little one over the other side. Yeah. There we have it, 2 different versions using pretty much the same products. Little treat bags, little gift bags, pop in whatever you wish. But aren't those masks really pretty, just to add some extra dimension of colour to some of your designer series paper? I think that's a cool idea, and I love these, that I don't have to think about stamping and lining up a die to get that lovely border around those. They are a great addition to the catalogue and to my crafty stash room. Okie doke. So if you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to hype my video, I'd love that. If you're new to my channel, then please do click on that subscribe button, click the bell, and get notification the next time I upload a tutorial. Until then, take care. Bye bye.